Hi everyone, so as you've obviously clicked on the video, this is my video from the lead up from the Monday getting the COVID test until my surgery and getting discharged. So I hope this is of somewhat helpful. Yeah, enjoy and I'll talk to you soon. So today is the 9th of November. This morning was my last shift. Caring basically until after my recovery. So today I had to go to the pre-assessment unit up in the hospital and get some bloods done. So I've got that done now, and then I have to go now and get a COVID test, which I'm really not looking forward to be honest. My belly is quite sore today, however it's more like actual nausea. I feel quite sick, but I don't know if that's my anxiety or like my stomach. But yeah, so not looking forward to this COVID testing, but going to get the COVID test now, and then I have to self-isolate until my surgery. So I'll keep you up to date with if surgery goes ahead, what it's like, the pain afterwards and the recovery and stuff. Like mentally, this is all very draining. Mentally it's a lot to handle, but there's been so many girls that have been through it before, like, so yeah, just keeping strong, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. So I'm literally just in through the door from coming home from the COVID test. So I got the COVID test up in Enniskillen, and it was like a drive-through basically. So you like got an appointment time, and then you just literally drove there at your appointment, and then the wee woman come down to the car and was like, asked your name, your date of birth, etc. So just sort of like to check you in basically, and then you drive up, and basically all they do is put a swab into like where your tonsils are, sort of like swish it about a wee bit, and then they actually use the same swab and put it up your nose. Up the nose was a wee bit uncomfortable, to be honest, like because they're literally trying to get the back of your nose. I was like about to sneeze when she was doing it, but it actually wasn't that bad. Far like less sore than I thought it was gonna be. So that's a plus, but yeah, now I just have to wait. They say if it's negative that basically you won't get a phone call. I don't know if this is just because I'm getting surgery on Thursday. She basically said like if you don't get a phone call like by Thursday, just like that obviously means that your test come back negative, so just go on ahead like with the surgery. She says if we give you a phone call like from now to Thursday, that obviously means that your test has come back positive. I have had no symptoms at all. This is just like a precautionary COVID test, basically to test see if I have COVID like prior to the surgery. It must obviously be to like protect staff and stuff like that. But yeah, so I've had no symptoms, so like I'm just assuming that the test is gonna come back negative, and I'm hoping for the best anyway. So from today you have to literally self-isolate now until surgery. I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the time close it starts to end. So I thought I'd do a wee time lapse of basically what I did in a day of isolation. So obviously first of all, wake up, sort of take a wee minute in bed first, and then as soon as I get up I make my bed, and then I normally always spray some Febreze over it. Just think it makes the bed smell clean even if you haven't just washed your bed sheets. I then always just shove my hair up in a bun out of the way so that I can start cleaning and tidying the room. I do this on a normal day whenever I'm off, like pick up any clothes that's on the floor, put them away. If they're clean, put them to the wash, and if they're dirty, spray all my surfaces and stuff down, put tumble dryer sheets into my pillows to make them smell nicer, and then hoover and mop and put things away. I always have Spotify on in the background as well, just for music and something to keep me going. I always like to clean in my pyjamas because I just think like whenever you clean you end up feeling dirty, so I always stay in my pajamas, and then once I'm finished cleaning I'll always go for a shower. So yeah, here's just a wee time lapse of what I got up to the day before my surgery.
Can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. I laid awake just begging to let go. I almost got to suicidal thoughts, but you stepped in. An angel sent from heaven showed me how to live again. Now I'm falling and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye. Said that you moved. I try to make you stay, but I guess my love.
So here I'm changing my work alarms to my surgery alarms. So the morning of my surgery I had to be in hospital for 11 a.m. I wasn't able to eat from 7 a.m. so I tried to sleep as long as possible. So just a wee video. Today is surgery day. I am extremely nervous. I'm absolutely starving. But I am looking forward to getting answers. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, but basically I'm just going to try and document as much of today as possible, because I know whenever I was trying to look for research and information regarding the laparoscopy surgery and anything to do with endometriosis, I found it very hard to find anybody in Northern Ireland or even the UK. I think I might have found like one or two girls from the UK, but maybe not as many from Northern Ireland. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm documenting this, and I suppose just for me to look back on as well. Yeah, I'm fucking so anxious, so I'll keep up to date with you and talk to you soon. I'm gonna go get ready here. Chat soon. Bye. Oh, another thing I must say as well, so obviously for surgery, you can't have like nails or anything on, so I am literally have nothing on. I feel so weird because I've had nails on for probably the majority of this year and last year. And also for surgery you have to take out all piercings, so I have took out my ear piercings so far, but obviously I still have my nose in, my tragus, my nipple and my belly button. So yeah, I'm not gonna really film myself, I suppose, whenever I have all my piercings out, but that's what I have to do to get answers.
Wasn't enough. Was it me or was it you, love? 'Cause I'm dying to know. Why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Tell me, why do you wanna end? Was he really just a friend? No sign of you at all. Just pictures on these walls, reminding me of how you threw away all that we've gone through. Was it all just a game to you? 'Cause I'm dying to know. Why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Tell me, why do you wanna end? Was he really just a friend? 'Cause it's plain in my head, every word that you said, I ain't worked it out yet. So why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? If there was
So the two consultants or surgeons, I don't know what to call them, they were in there and they were just explaining what the surgery's going to be, what they can do during the surgery, what they can't do. That was basically it. Just sort of explained all about the surgery, etc. I'll go into more detail maybe after the surgery, when I know a bit more really. A wee nurse just come in there and got bloods taken, must be for the surgery. So now I'm just sitting, waiting, watching some documentaries, and then yeah, I'll keep you updated.
was any sign that our love was in decline, I would have begged you not to go. I would have given even more. My heart is breaking up inside.
So I was wheeled down in my bed to the theatre room, or well, down the theatre. I had to wear my mask obviously because of COVID and being in the halls of the hospital. Whenever, like, I was literally chatting away to the nurses and the two theatre guys that took me down to theatre. Whenever I got down to theatre, or like even like just going into the theatre hallway, like my anxiety was through the roof then, because I was like, oh my god, like this is real, like this is happening, oh fuck. But whenever I got into the theatre, basically I was met by one of the gynecologists that had met me earlier on in the day. I was also greeted by the anesthesiologist. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I mean. And then two more theatre nurses. So the gynecologist that had seen me throughout the day, I'm nearly sure that she was like a student gynecologist or like a student consultant or something. But she was the one that put my cannula in. So the first time she put my cannula in, she actually didn't get it in right, or didn't get it in the proper vein or something like that. I heard her saying something to the anesthesiologist that like, oh, have I got it in a superficial vein or something? You know, that's all I heard, and I was like, oh shit, like I got it in the wrong vein, like what the fuck's going wrong here? But they got it in anyway. They told me to cough while she was putting the cannula in, because it was something to distract me. So yeah, that happened. It was stingy, but like it was fine. They then inserted something, some sort of like white creamy looking thing, and like a syringe into the cannula. I don't know what this is, but it was really, really cold, like going into my hand. That was fine. The anesthesiologist or whatever, she's like, everything's gonna be fine. Like, she was chatting away to me. She was like, go on into the theatre room now. And I was like, great, that's grand. So went into the theatre room, and there were so many people in the theatre room. I was like, why is there so many people here? But she basically said to me, the way like theatre nurse, she was like, I'm sure, like, because obviously you haven't had nothing done yet, and like you're still young and fit, like, do you want to just walk over to the theatre bed? But yeah, so pop myself off the bed. Obviously you have this big apron on, and at the back you have nothing on, so it's so embarrassing. So she was like, I'll cover you with a towel. I was like, thanks so much. But I was walked over to the theatre room, got popped up in the bed and all, and then they put these wee like bandage things over my 2 legs, and this, I think the girl had explained this was to like pulp your legs like every so often during surgery, so that you wouldn't get any blood clots in your legs. So that was grand. Obviously I was lying up in the bed and seeing all these lights and all these people talking to me. It was so overwhelming. I was like, what the hell? Talking away to me like, what job do you do, and blah blah blah. But then the girl that was putting the anaesthetic into me, she was like, oh, I'm just going to put a wee bit of wine in here. Just think you're getting some wine into your system. And I was like, okay, great. Even though I don't like wine, but thanks. She's like, oh, you don't like wine? She was like, what do you like? And I was like, oh, like gin or like peach schnapps or something like that. She's like, oh, well, I'm putting gin in you here now then. She's like, a wee bit of tonic. And she's like, oh, well, maybe you don't like tonic. She's like, a wee bit of lemonade. She's like, it'll all be done in a wee minute. She's like, and then you'll be thinking of a wee drink up after it and everything. And then literally when she was chatting away to me, I was like, oh yeah, like class, I would love a wee gin and all. And then all I could see was like the lights on the roof like starting to like shake and flicker. And then like next minute, all I remember is waking up in this recovery room, shaking, like, I mean trembling, like my whole body was like, oh, and like my teeth were chattering and everything. And there was like a wee woman beside me, and she's like, oh my god, like, why is she shaking so much, like, is she okay and all? And then apparently I was like coming out in like a rash around my chest. So I don't know, like, was I like going into like a bit of a panic attack or something? But basically they put this blanket on me and put like what looked like a hairdryer up the blanket. So it was like a heated blanket to warm me up, because I was freezing to touch. I was coming out in a rash. I was shaking like mad. Like from the minute that I remember like sort of slightly opening my eyes and could remember trembling. It took me about an hour to like stop trembling, warm up a little bit, sort of open my eyes. And then whenever I like had woke up a bit, I actually remember saying to the wee nurse that was like beside me, she must have been like doing my obs and stuff, I remember saying to her, did they find anything? And she was like, oh, like the gynecologist or the consultant needs to speak to you about that. Like, I know nothing, this is just the recovery room. And I was just like, oh my god, like, I bet you they didn't. So I was fine, got round. Basically the recovery room is just to make sure you're well enough to go to the ward. So they took my blood pressure, like all that sort of crack. And then eventually I was able to go down to the ward. I was in hospital for 11. My surgery was around 2:30. I was meant to only be in hospital for the day and was meant to be getting out that evening. But they have to look after, like, keep an eye on you for about 4 hours after, and I wasn't that well after it, so they kept me overnight. Which you'll see in the clips after this.
Can't believe I love to die. Yes, it's out of my control. Why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Tell me, why do you wanna end? Is he really just your friend? Cause it's playing in my head, every word that you said, I ain't worked it out yet. So why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Why do you wanna end?
When it hurts like this, we climb the greatest heights, jump down and have a fight, and that's all we'll ever like, but that can never change my
I'm not long awake. I didn't have a great night's sleep. Sort of slept on and off. Probably seen nearly every hour of the clock last night. Was in quite a lot of pain. And anytime I moved, like, it was just an agony. It was like shooting pains, like really sharp stabbing pains in my stomach. And then I felt like nausea, like on and off. Literally all I wanted was my water bottle. But because of health and safety and because of the rash that I get from the hot water bottle, they weren't able to fill it. So to be fair, the nurse was lovely. Like, she tried her best with pain medication and kept on telling me to take water and stuff, because when they were taking my obs, like my blood pressure and my temperature, sometimes they were up. I did have quite a temperature quite a few times, but I think I had temperature like whenever I just woke. But yeah, not a very good night's sleep and a lot of pain. I suppose I've never been for surgery before, so my body's probably just getting used to it. Oh god, I need to sneeze, it's not good. I'll talk after. The next morning I was told that I was under the knife for about an hour and a half. I was under the knife for a lot longer than they thought I was going to be. Whenever the student gynaecologist or consultant had went in, they could not really see anything, and the consultant himself said like it looked quite clean, and we were like, right, okay, well everything looks sort of normal. But he said because he knows what he's looking for, he's done this surgery plenty of times before, he said I knew to look in behind things. So what he did was, he said that he actually had to move my bowel completely out of the way, and then in behind my bowel, he said, was a complete mess. He said my left side was completely covered in endometriosis. I remember him saying to me that my bowel was like attached to my left ovary. Like the endometriosis had like knitted my bowel to my ovary, and it had also knitted my bowel to my bladder wall. And then there was endometriosis like all over my left side, like near on top of my uterus, and like around like obviously my bowel and my bladder and my ovary. He had said that this could be what was causing me to not fall pregnant. However, he did say that adenomyosis on my womb can only be removed through a hysterectomy, which he will not be doing, obviously, because I want a family. He says he will only do that whenever my family's completed, and that will probably be in about 20 years. He showed me a picture of it, which I'll insert in this video, just of what it sort of looked like. Obviously, if you don't know what you're looking at, like, the picture will probably be nothing to use, but I'll insert it anyway.
What's the point in us if I never know? Yeah, if you're gonna leave.
I'm hoping to get a report of the surgery, so that I can actually like read through it properly, because the information that he had told me after the surgery was only brief. Like, I was still sort of out of it with painkillers and didn't really know what questions to ask. The only thing I really asked him was, when can I shower, because obviously I felt rotten. He had said you can shower tomorrow whenever you go home, because this was the day after the surgery, so it was like 2 days after the surgery. He said I could shower, and he said just to make sure that my stitches were kept clean. My stitches are dissolvable stitches. If they're not, if they haven't like dissolved in about 2 weeks or so, I can take them out myself, he said, which I was like, oh god, no thanks. He's like, but you can go into your treatment room and get them taken out as well. But I was like, oh god, like, that sounds rotten. He also said because of the endometriosis like attached my bowel to my ovary, obviously that he said that about that might have affected me not getting pregnant. However, he said he put the dye into my fallopian tubes and both of them seemed like they were open. Says this is really positive for fertility. However, he did say because you've been off all birth control for 2 years, and you've obviously been like trying as such, if you don't fall pregnant naturally within the next 6 months or so, I would recommend that you go down the IVF route. So to hear that I might have to go down IVF hit me hard. I know a lot of women have went through it. I know a lot of women are so strong and have had successful babies through it. However, that does not take away what them women have been through. It doesn't take away what I might have to go through, what Darryl might have to go through, what we might have to go through in our relationship just to have the family that we want. It's a lot of information to take on. It's a lot of mental drainness. Yeah, it's just a lot to think about. It's a lot of conversations to have in your relationship. And at the age of 22, I never thought, or coming 23, I never thought that this would actually be my life. But yeah, so that's what the surgeon had basically said. And we have excised as much as we possibly can. He says because it was so close to your bowel, we actually had to pump gas into your bowel as well to see if it was functioning properly. That he didn't let me leave the hospital the next day until I had like passed gas or something. But yeah, so I will keep you up to date with the recovery, and any questions, just pop a comment on the YouTube or text me via Instagram.
I'm tired of the pain.
The shoulder pain is actually severe.
My demons dwell, my own little nightmare, I call it hell. Oh well, it's time to get back up. I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the dark, how close it starts.